Hi everyone, Natasha here, and welcome to Natasha's Healthy Living, where we are nurturing wellness naturally. One of the ways I like to do that is by using a paper planner to help me be mindful and present and take a break from screens. And today I'm bringing you something a little different. I'm up here in my office. We have another snow day, so we've had a full week of no school now. My daughter has yet to go back to school with all of the snow and winter weather we've had. So everyone's kind of off doing their own thing and relaxing, and I'm here in my office because I want to put together a new family home management binder, or you could think of it as a FlyLady Control Journal. So I've gathered some of my favorite Jane's Agenda and planner supplies in general that I have around the home and my office, and we're going to put this together. So grab something to do, grab something cozy to drink. You could get out your planner and do some planning while you're watching and listening, or if you've been thinking about setting up some sort of home management binder, or in the FlyLady system, she calls it a control journal, the FlyLady Control Journal, then maybe this will give you some ideas and a way to kind of follow along. So stay tuned for that, and welcome to my office. Welcome back to my home. I'm so glad you're joining me today. So as I mentioned, we're having another beautiful snow day. I was able to catch some deer the other day that were out walking through the snow when we got up one morning, which was just so beautiful because there's snow all throughout the woods behind our home. Then I could see the deer walking through the snowy woods, and we have luckily not had any issues as far as needing to get out when the roads were really bad. And by the time we got out for work and things like that, the roads had been mostly clear, although they're still not clear. They're snow covered and slush covered out here where I live. So we're just staying home a lot and going out minimally. So, having said that, I've actually gotten a lot of really good projects done around our home. So we live in a 100-year-old home, but half of the home, on the back half, there is an addition that was put on in 2000 by the previous owners. So when my daughter was born, we set up her nursery in the little room connected to our master bedroom, or our main bedroom in the house, which is actually on the new side of the home, and it was really meant to be more of a little sitting room or office. It really wasn't meant to be a bedroom because there's a lot of doors in that little space, but it was the closest to our bedroom, so that's what made the most sense. Well, this summer, my daughter is now 10, and she decided she wanted a little more space and a little more of a grown-up room. So she moved upstairs to one of the original bedrooms to the home, which we had just set up as a guest bedroom. So it was just sitting there, for guests occasionally, but it worked out great. She could move up there. So it had left that previous room of hers kind of in the state it was in. We hadn't really done anything with it. And then my friend was looking for a full-size bed to go on, or mattress and box spring set to go on her daughter's bed. They were kind of upgrading her room. So that was the catalyst to getting that old bedroom of my daughter's transformed into a little sitting room. I actually was thinking it would be really nice to put my yoga mat out and be able to do my soul core stretching videos in there. And just, kind of have a space that my husband and I can use as a little more of a quiet space connected to our bedroom and not in the main living areas of the home. So that has been my focus all week since we had all these snow days and we were home and my work schedule was just sort of on hold. I spent a lot of time getting that room cleaned out and cleaned up, and my daughter and I had to sort through a lot of old toys and things, and she did really good. We got rid of quite a bit. Some of it we can donate or try to sell at the resale shop. Some of it was just little stuff it's just done. So we cleaned everything out. Now that space is pretty empty, but it feels good. It's also the room I see when I'm at the kitchen sink doing dishes. So it's nice to look in there now and just see this little cozy nook in the corner. Sometimes I sit there with my planner or a book to read, and it's kind of my little cozy spot away from things, but also still kind of right in the middle of the house. So anyway, having said that, that's been what I've been working on, and I haven't done as much work up here in my office or with my planners in general. I've just been kind of using them as to-do lists. But one of the things that came to mind over the holidays, now that my daughter is 10, she was asking about, well, Mom, what's on your wish list? Dad and I want to go shopping and get you some gifts for Christmas. And up until now, I've kind of just worked that out with my husband, or I've gotten my own things and then just said, here you go, wrap this. This is something I want, because I always feel like as moms, sometimes it's just up to us to kind of make sure we're getting some of our gift needs met as far as the holidays go. But it was really sweet that she's old enough now where she was really wanting to participate in that process even more. So I realized, well, having my wish list in my own planner that I carry around with me doesn't really help them. So I decided I wanted to make some sort of a little control journal or home management binder that can sit in the kitchen. The other thing I want to start doing in here is more meal planning and having that available for everyone to see. That way we can sort of work through it together as a family. If people have ideas for things they want to eat, they could jot them down. So it's just a good little reference binder that we can all access and use. I plan to keep track of our family health appointments in here too, so we can just all see when the next, eye doctor, medical checkups, well child visits, all that kind of stuff, dentists, all that, it can just be housed in here and we can see when that is. All right, that's my long intro. So here's what I've got for you. I gathered up some of the little discs that I had on hand because I don't anticipate this is going to need much. Now, I do have the next size up. Let's see, these are the 1/4-inch discs. They're teeny tiny. I think the next size I have up is a 1/2-inch disc from Jane's Agenda. So if I start this process and realize it's not going to be enough, then I might have to upsize my discs. But I don't anticipate this little binder is going to have a whole lot. It's more of just kind of a little reference notebook for us to access. And then I grabbed, this is Jane's Agenda cover set that I got, I think when I first discovered Jane's Agenda, and I just liked it. It's this pretty little line work design and has that frosted cover. So I grabbed that because it's just kind of neutral, and I thought, well, this will look nice, sitting in the corner of my desk in the kitchen. Then I also have this, which is from the Happy Planner, and then I laminated it. So it was from a little home set that they have, and I really like this Laura Ingalls Wilder quote, "Home is the nicest word there is." It's just speaks to my heart. I'm a homebody and I agree. So on the back, she has this daily chore chart, or they have, this is a Happy Planner insert, so I don't know as much about it, but there's this daily chore chart, weekly chores, and monthly chores. Now, some of this is probably pretty in line with the FlyLady system, or it's close enough. So I thought, well, this will be good. I'll just kind of have this as my inside cover, and that way it can be the first tab we turn to that has all of our chores and things like that, and the household cleaning tasks. But it also has some reference information there. Then I grabbed this set of Jane's Agenda tab dividers. These are just I was thinking ahead about, like, what do I want to call these tabs? So I got the Jane's Agenda translucent sticky notes. It's going to be hard to talk today, I think. And clear, and then I took the uni pen. These are both things we've gotten in Jane's Agenda sub boxes, and I just made out these labels that I'm going to stick on here. I think that was just kind of my idea. And I grabbed some other things too. One set of items that I grabbed were the new monthly inserts. So this came in the January sub box. I don't think it's available on the website yet, but if you're watching this down the road a little bit, I think these are coming out to be purchased in the shop at Jane's Agenda starting in July. So I think that'll be available then, but I liked this for my meal planning. And then the back side, I thought this could either be like meal ideas or shopping list or inventory. I think inventory is what I'm planning to use it for, because I can have like a fresh fridge inventory, I can have a pantry inventory, and I can have a freezer inventory. I think that was my thought, was that would be a nice place to reference that. So I grabbed that, and then one of the other things I wanted to do was update how I'm tracking my zone cleaning for the FlyLady system. So I'll show you a little more about that, but basically I grabbed these habit tracker inserts that we got. I'm pretty sure these came in the January box, either December or January in the sub box, and I think these are available on the website now since there's that code E47-7. I think that means you can get them on the Jane's Agenda website. And then I grabbed some of my other random things I have, of course, some blank and lined and dot grid pages I can just put in the back for note pages. So we'll go through those. I'm not even sure I'm going to use it all. That's why I'm not going to go through all of it with you right now, because I don't know what I'm going to end up using. So let's unstack my stack and we'll work on putting together this little mini home binder planner thing, whatever we're going to call it. I do need to come up with a name that my whole family will remember, so I might actually talk to them, because sometimes, you know, we all think differently and our brains work differently, so just because I want to give it a certain name, that doesn't always resonate with the other members of my family. So we'll put these little discs on. These are teeny tiny, so I'm gonna have to kind of coax those on there, and I'm hoping I picked the right size. I hope I don't get through this process and then realize I need to upgrade my discs. All right, there are the discs on with my cover. Then let's go ahead and tuck this insert on. Now, the one thing I am just noticing is, because this was really a cardstock insert and then I laminated it, I'm wondering if it's going to be too hard to turn on those teeny tiny discs, because yeah, I might just either need to trim it or get bigger discs. So let me put some things in here. This would be a good way for me to check to see if I have too small of discs, because if all of these things go in here, let's just throw in some extras. Let's see. I mean, that could work, but I'm wondering about how easy it's going to be to turn. So let's pause for a minute. Let me get my next size up on disc and see what the difference is. Okay, I think I am going to switch to these. These are a 1/2 inch disc, so I think that's going to work out better, just because by the time I get a few of these inserts and dividers in here, I think it's going to make everything a little easier to turn. So I'll do that off camera and I'll be right back. Okay, that looks a little bit better. So I added on 1/2 inch discs, which I think will give me a little more room to both add if I need to, but also just for turning this this cover page initially, but any of the other pages behind it. The other thing I did was I went ahead and trimmed that lamination all the way down to the edge of the cardstock. I know you're not supposed to do that because it kind of breaks the seal of the lamination, but I figured it's still better than it was, as far as, you know, it was just a cardstock insert. Well, now it's a laminated cardstock, so it's still going to be pretty reinforced, and hopefully that'll work out fine. So have that in there, and then the next thing I wanted to add were these habit trackers. So I need one for each zone, and this is where I was going to show you kind of my inspiration. So years ago when I bullet journaled, this is my 2018 bullet journal from June to September. This was the system I had created for myself in my bullet journal, and it worked out great. And off and on, I go back to this system. It just sort of depends on what's going on in our lives at the moment. So I broke my home down into these zones. If you want, I'll link that video if you want to go back and look at that. And at that point, I was using more of a clipboard system for zone cleaning, which works great, but I'm at the point now where I kind of want to have more of a binder where we can have more than just the cleaning zone trackers in there and have some of these other reference things. And then the habit tracker part, the inspiration I got for using these is from this checklist I had. And I liked having all of the months of the year on here because it lets you see how often you've done things. So I don't necessarily believe you should be doing everything every month. And the FlyLady doesn't teach that in the FlyLady system. She just says, you know, it's a way to remind yourself of some of those deeper cleaning type jobs you might want to do on a monthly basis. And with a tracker like this, you can see how long it's been. And if you really, you know, like this one, I've only done it once in a 7-month period, which is fine. All right, so that's the inspiration. That's what we're going to use these habit trackers for. So I have 5 zones, and there's 2 on a page, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that's going to give me an extra habit tracker at the back, and I could potentially use that for, I'm trying to decide. I mean, you could use it for bill paying. There's a lot of things you could use to track that for. I'm not sure, or track that with. I'm not sure what I'm going to use it for. I might, I don't know. One thought I have is to break up my zone, I think this is zone, in the FlyLady system, zone 3, which is the 3rd week of the month, is supposed to be your kids' room or one other room. And that's when she says to do things like your basement. But my basement is pretty large. You've seen my basement decluttering series here on my channel, and part of me wonders if I shouldn't just have a 6th zone that's my basement that I just sort of do when I have time. We'll see. I'll think about that. So there's my cleaning tracker start. I don't know how much more I'm going to put in there, but that's the basics of what I knew I wanted to add in there. Now let's go ahead and add in my tabs, because this is going to divide up the rest of the little notebook reference finder. Oop. I thought I ripped this, but I forgot this is just one of those sticky tabs. I stuck those on the outside so that I could kind of use the tabs as a guideline to make sure I wasn't writing it too big. And I'll probably go through, I don't know that I'll do it on camera, but I'll go through and let's see if I can get these out of here. They're just getting hung up on the edges. All right, there's part of them. I'm going to put all 12 in here so that I have plenty of room to add more tabs as we go along if we decide we need them. There we go. Oh, never mind. I thought this was 2 layers thick, but I don't think it is. It's just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it's 6 of them. And then I'm going to take this very last one and put it at the back, since I already have my first tab right there. But what I was saying is I plan to leave all these in here so that I can add as I need to. And I don't know if they're still on the shop, but this is a set of tab dividers from Jane's Agenda, and for a while things like this were in their clearance or last chance section. So if you're looking for something like that, I would check there first and see what's still available, because that can be a good place to grab things like this at a good price. And these are always a good quality, they hold up well and work really nicely for stuff like this. There we go. Okay. And then long term, if I decide that I like the names of these tabs, then I'll probably go through and make a more permanent kind of laminated tab with my label maker, my Brother label maker. But for right now, I'm just going to, this is the sticky side, so I have the sticky side up to stick onto that laminated tab. And then what I'll do off camera is go back and just trim those little corners and kind of round the corners to match the tab. But that works for me, just to have it, whoops, labeled like that. I'm gonna have to do it this way just so I can tell what I'm doing. And I also like doing it this way because even if I don't get it perfectly centered when I'm writing it on the tab, I can stick it down a little more centered on the tab itself when I'm applying it. Same thing when I use my Brother labels that I print, I can get them centered a little more easily by adding it separate. Okay. And I even made a separate tab just for wish lists, because I thought we can each have our own personal one that we jot things down on, and we could have one for the home, you know, if we just kind of want to have like a long-term wish list of things we want to either upgrade or refresh in our home, then that could go there too. And then the last tab on here is for blank, but then I do still have this extra tab, so that could be, I don't know, if I come up with another option, that could go there. Oop. Oh, apparently that one I didn't write it on the right side, but that's okay. Let's see, let's stick this on here. And then I can write on there. And with these plastic sticky tabs, you have to use an oil-based pen for those to write. So that's why I'm using this uni pen, because this is an oil-based ink pen. All right, there's the start of it. We've got our tabs, we have our habit trackers. Now let's do the monthlies here, which are going to be my meal planning sets of inserts. And this is what has been on my mind now that we're already to the 10th of the month. I've been kind of meal planning loosely in my planner just on a daily and weekly basis, but I'd like to just quickly lay down a whole month's worth and have that done. Then I have some meal planning inserts and things from, I think this is one you can purchase as a printable from Jane's Agenda, or it came in, it might have come in, I don't know. It's either a freebie or I purchased it, but it's printable. So these are some things that were in my planner last year, and I thought I'll just go through and see if I want to add to it. So this is the pantry inventory one, which is just kind of a good reference to see what you have on hand. This one is favorite meals. And this one was just a food inventory that I took a long time ago, so I don't think I need that. This was meal planning ideas, but nothing on there's like new and different. These are some blank ones I printed and then it didn't end up using. Here's one from last year, September and October. So I might use those as a little bit of inspiration as I'm filling out my January one. And then this was a meal planning insert set we got from Jane's Agenda. I don't remember what it was for. So this is kind of a reference one of just a general weekly plan. So I like having that. And then I was using the Metabolic Renewal at one point, and this was their weekly, week 1, 2, and 3. I think they just had a 3-week set of meal plans. So those are all just basically ideas that I can use. Okay, and then projects. I do want to put some project pages in there. So I have some of the Jane's Agenda project planner inserts. So I'm just going to drop a few of these in there so we can sit down as a family if we want to work through any of those. And I actually think this last tab that I didn't remember what I was going to use it for or have a purpose, I'm going to make that a meetings tab. So that way, whenever we sit down to do a family meeting, which is very low-key, very informal. Usually it's just while we're eating dinner, I'll kind of get the family calendar down off the kitchen wall and just walk through with everyone what kind of appointments and activities we have coming up for the next week. But it's just a good chance to touch base on anything else we might need to do. So I'm gonna put that, I feel like I have 2, maybe not. So this will be my meetings tab, and that way I have a place for that. So I grabbed a few of the Jane's Agenda meeting note insert pages. We'll put those back there. And then I just have an assortment of different blank pages that can go in my blank section. So that way, whatever we're looking for, we've got it. A lot of these are Jane's Agenda, but I have a few Happy Planner and just other assorted ones. So, and I have just a little tab at the bottom. So I have some of these pretty floral ones. I have some dot grid. I have, this is the Trifocus notes. And I have the Flex notes. And these were in a book that I think they were in my planner from last year. And I was carrying it to the car and spilled my water down in my bag. So some of the bottoms of the pages have a little wrinkle to them because they got wet, but that's okay. I think that's everything. Let me see, did I have anything else? This is a set I grabbed, but I don't think there's anything left in here. These are September of last year, so that's not, oh, I know what I was gonna grab. Just to have it as a reference. Oh, there's one more habit tracker. So this is the 2025 at a glance calendar. So where do we want to put that? I don't know, actually. Maybe we'll just put it in reference because it's not like I'm using this calendar or this planner as a calendar or an events tracker. It's really just home reference type information for the family down in our kitchen. So there we go. That is my new little family reference binder or control journal. I think the 1/2-inch discs are going to work out great because it feels easy to turn the pages. It gives me a little bit of wiggle room as far as adding even just more reference pages if I want to. And then this can just live in the kitchen, so anyone who wants to look up something can grab it. Also, when I'm working on my zone cleaning and doing my FlyLady system, then I can pull this out and just check off any of those zone cleaning tasks that I've accomplished. So I hope that was fun for you to get to see a little bit of the projects that I've been working on around my home this week, and then things like this, another, journal and binder or planner type item to keep around my home and use. Hopefully that gave you some ideas on creating your own FlyLady Control Journal or home management notebook or journal, just something to keep track of all those things and have it easily referenced by the family. So thanks for joining me. Leave me a comment. Let me know how you're faring as the first half of January quickly goes by. Hopefully you're staying comfortable and cozy wherever you are. And thanks again for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that like button if you enjoy these kinds of videos and like seeing something a little different along the planner front. And other than that, stay tuned. I'll be sharing more next week, and I'll look forward to seeing you then. Bye.